Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, May the 30th. I want to first give an update on the sun. There's been another coronal mass ejection, nothing like the one earlier this month that ended up resulting in aurora northern lights being visible way down into the tropics. But we do have some activity that'll perhaps impact the Earth's upper atmosphere later tomorrow into the upcoming weekend. And then we'll focus in on the severe weather threat that's coming up really over each of the next few days over the central plains. We're way above normal right now for the total number of tornadoes reported across the nation due to a surge in the number of tornadoes since late April. And our continuing active weather pattern, unfortunately, it looks like it'll likely produce some more tornadoes over any of the next few days, specifically focused over the central plains. First of all, on the sun, here's the latest look at the sun, and we have really two big sunspot regions right now, over here and then over here. This is rotating around in this fashion now. This particular sunspot region, I believe, is officially called AR 3697, did unleash a coronal mass ejection yesterday. It looks like it'll have a glancing blow on the Earth, and it could cause some northern lights, let's say tomorrow night, Friday night, maybe again on Saturday night. Again, we'll take a look at a couple computer forecast models that depict this glancing blow from this particular sunspot region. Again, it unleashed I would say, a moderate coronal mass ejection yesterday, and it could have an impact later tomorrow into the upcoming weekend. This is an area that we have to watch over the next 12 to 24 hours or so, because right now is currently facing the Earth directly. So if it in fact has a solar flare or unleashes coronal mass ejection, that could be more than a glancing blow. And this is something we'll have to watch in the near term. Again, these are all rotating in this fashion, but this is the one that caused CME, a coronal mass ejection, yesterday. And again, it could have an impact later tomorrow into the early part of the upcoming weekend. Now we'll take a look at a couple different models here. One actually comes from NOAA and the other from NASA, both trying to predict where this coronal mass ejection will go. This is the NOAA model, and right here is the Earth. That little green circle is the Earth, and this is the coronal mass ejection as it moves away from the sun. You can see kind of a glancing blow here. Nonetheless, it very well could have some kind of an impact. Again, talking about Friday the 31st into Saturday the 1st of June. So this particular NOAA model, again, has this glancing blow, and it's only a glancing blow because it took place when that sunspot region was way on the limb of the sun. Again, we have one that is facing the Earth directly right now. We'll have to monitor closely over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. But this particular model has that kind of a glancing blow over the next couple of days. Now, here's a different model from NASA, kind of depicts the same sort of result here. The sun located right here. In this particular model, the Earth is represented here. This has, again, maybe a glancing blow right there. That's the coronal mass ejection. You can see only a glancing blow right here. Not quite as much as what the NOAA model represented, but a glancing blow nonetheless. And again, that could have an impact potentially with some northern lights, let's say, later tomorrow night into the weekend. Again, as we have this glancing blow of the very latest coronal mass ejection. Again, in the big picture, we're in solar cycle 25. It's advancing towards the solar maximum phase, likely later this year, 2024, perhaps into early 2025. That is the solar maximum phase, is when the sun will have the most sunspot activity, the most sunspots. And again, we could have these coronal mass ejections over the next several months as solar cycle 25 peaks late 2024 or perhaps early 2025. Well, let's get back to Earth and talk about potential severe weather not only later today and tonight, but really each of the next few days going right through the upcoming weekend. And I think the threat will mainly be focused over the central plains on one or two of those days, maybe the southern plains on another day, maybe the northern plains, but basically the center part of the nation. Here's where we stand right now. This is all the way through May 29th. It's what they call inflation-adjusted number of tornadoes, and we're right at the high percentile level here. The highest percentile is depicted here in red, and you notice here in black, these are the current observations right here, May 29th. Look at this surge from this point right here, latter part of April, right here is where we're really starting to pile on with respect to tornadoes across the nation. And again, it looks like with this continuation of an active weather pattern, with a continuation of colder than normal air masses dropping from Canada into the U.S., we will have the likelihood for more tornadoes reported over the next week, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks or so as we move into the early and middle parts of June. So again, this surge, this spike in tornadoes looks like it could continue not only over the next few days, perhaps over the next couple of weeks. Well, before we take a look at the actual surface weather maps for the next few days, let's take a look at NOAA's Storm Prediction Center. This is the probability of severe weather. And again, this is the area of concern right here in the center part of the nation, not only today, but really over each of the next few days. I think going right through Saturday and Sunday as well. An enhanced risk right now, as depicted here by NOAA's Storm Prediction Center for central Texas. This is for later on today into tonight and into the early part of tomorrow. Now, let's jump ahead here. Here we go on Friday as we end the shortened work week. Still, the central plains, in this particular case, it looks like the southern and central plains is where the main focus for severe weather threat is. Go out even farther in time, and here we go into the day on Saturday. Again, the central plains here, the central and all the way up to the Dakotas and down to Texas. This is for Saturday, and I think Sunday, same sort of a pattern here, where probably the northern plains may be the focus of attention on Sunday. So not only today and tonight across the middle part of the nation, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as well, right in this particular area, very likely to add to our tornado totals for the year, which again are at very high levels relative to normal for the end of May. Well, let's end up by looking at the Canadian model run from last night at 0Z as we begin the day here on Thursday, May 30th. First of all, very, very comfortable air mass into the mid-Atlantic region, the northeast U.S. We kind of monitor temperatures by looking at what we call thickness levels here, the thickness of that lower half of the atmosphere from the surface, or 1,000 millibars, up to 500 millibars, the middle part of the atmosphere. When you have a thickness this time of the year, 546, that's pretty impressively cool. And in addition to the cool conditions here in the mid-Atlantic, dew points are very low. It's really as good as it gets for a comfortable air mass this time of the year, late May going into early June. And in fact, this air mass will stick around tomorrow and even into the early part of the weekend. Dew points in the 40s in many parts of the mid-Atlantic region as we begin the day here on Thursday. Very nice weather. A lot of the action, again, later today and tonight, right across the central part of the nation. We'll kind of move forward here. And here we go. This is the area of concern for later today into tonight. This is the Thursday evening forecast map. Again, any of these areas can produce strong to severe thunderstorms, perhaps isolated tornadoes as well. We'll go ahead, and this really explodes here in the overnight hours across Oklahoma and Texas. That is, of course, a concern for anytime you have the threat of nocturnal tornadic activity. That is very concerning because most people are sleeping in the overnight hours, and it's something we'll have to watch later on today, and especially into the early and middle part of tonight. We go forward here into early tomorrow. A lot of activity going into those wee hours of the morning. Again, be on the lookout here in Oklahoma and Texas, all the way up to the central plains here. Then we move forward here through the day on Friday. again, this is kind of where all the action is, all the potential concern right in this part of the nation, as is the case later today and tonight. Meanwhile, back east, beautiful air mass, beautiful day on Friday to end the shortened work week. Now, let's push forward here in time. There'll be, this is now Saturday. Again, this is kind of the area of concern, perhaps a little bit less so on Saturday than it will be on Sunday, and maybe it will be on this afternoon and on Friday as well, but nonetheless, watch out in this particular area, maybe going out into the Mississippi Valley. Still very nice weather back east and quite warm and relatively dry weather out in the western half of the nation as we begin the upcoming weekend. Then we go into the day on Sunday. This system slides in the east. It could cause some shower activity. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, let's say late Sunday, Sunday night time frame. Probably not associated with severe weather, but something we'll watch late in the weekend, early part of next week, kind of an upper level trough. We'll keep it unsettled in the Midwest, in the Mid-Atlantic region, late weekend, early part of next week. Then we go into the day on Sunday, and again, this is the area to watch later Sunday, Sunday night, especially around this area. I think the central and northern plains may be the focus of attention on late Sunday, Sunday night, near the surface low of 999 here in the western part of the Dakotas. Again, we've talked about kind of an influx of Gulf from Mexico, warm and humid air, and at the same time we have a continuation of colder than normal air masses dropping south and east from Canada into the central part of the U.S. So this is an area of concern really each of the next several days here. Now let's go forward in time a little bit into the latter part of Sunday. Watch out in this particular area and back east of the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast. Could be some shower activity late Sunday, Sunday night. Again, probably not associated with severe thunderstorms, but we'll monitor that threat over the next few days. But this is the area of concern here, not only later today and tonight, but the middle part of the nation, the southern, the central, the northern plains. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, watch out for some strong to severe thunderstorms, and unfortunately, that very well could add to the tornado totals that are right now at very high levels for this time of the year. We are transitioning, of course, this weekend from May into June. It looks like the overall active weather pattern will continue at least into the early part of the month of June. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.